In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God, to whom is glory forever. Amen. It is a pleasure to meet with you on another topic in apologetics. That is, for this year, is to talk about the God's presence through something called intelligent design, and using it to show that God exists. Let's start right away. What is intelligence? Because it's in the title, intelligent design. It's simply the ability to think. When someone thinks, this is called intelligence, the ability to think. When we look at things around us, we find that they are there because someone with a mind was able to create these things. We'll see examples of this and it will become clearer. Let us take an example right away. When you draw a painting, what happens? What is the sequence of getting a painting to be drawn, to be in existence, out of non-existence, out of nowhere? You get a blank piece of paper, you go and get a notepad, you think, I want to draw about whatever you like to draw about. You guys can think of what you like best to draw about. And on a blank sheet of paper, you start drawing, and after a while, something comes out. It might not be that pretty, maybe this is a professional painter, but a painting that you made by yourself comes out of nothing, comes out of non-existence. There was nothing, and then you brought the pad of paper, the blank one, you thought of a picture, and then you started drawing a picture. So these three things are very important. You, your thinking, and what comes out from your thinking, which is your action. We're going to repeat this over and over, and it will become clearer as we keep going. But this is an example so that we can understand the very beginning of these three ideas. You, your thoughts, and what comes out from your thoughts. Let us give them some names. When you did the painting, this is what happened. You are called the intelligent agent. You are the one who is bringing the thinking. It didn't come out of air, it was you. So we'll give you the name, the intelligent agent, or the one who can think. Your thinking is information because you brought something out of nowhere into existence, and that requires information. So your mind has information. In that case, when we did the painting, it was the image of the painting in your mind, and then you started putting it on paper. And then the last thing is, after you think, you act, which is the drawing. And the drawing, you took the crayons, or you took the pencils here with different colors, and you started making a painting. So your mind has information. This information came into a result or an action or something that people can see and touch. It was in your mind and now they can see it. Let us do these two examples side by side to understand the names that we gave them. Number one, you get a blank piece of paper. You, as the person, is the one who's doing this out of non-existence. It didn't exist before, and you came and you bought the blank piece of paper. Then you started thinking, I want to draw something, and it's in your mind. Then you drew it, and it became an action. It became something that people can look at, and we give it these names. When you did this painting, this is what happened. You are called the intelligent agent. Agent means a person. And that agent, in this case, is you. Your mind has information. And then this information, in the case of the painting, became a drawing because your information was about a picture. We're going to see other examples for information. So these are three main things. A person, that thinks of bringing something out of non-existence using his information, and what is in his mind becomes on paper, or becomes something we can see, or becomes a certain new thing that did not exist before. These are the three main concepts we're going to focus on, and we will relate them to God towards the end of the presentation. Let us repeat this with other examples to make it clearer and clearer and clearer. And this process of a person with information, and something comes out of that information by the person, is called intelligent design. You are building something. Design means you're building something. So you are the intelligent agent that is thinking. You have information in your mind, comes out of completely out of nowhere. It wasn't there, and then all of a sudden you bring it in your mind, and as a result of this, you, in this case, you want to draw a picture, and you draw it. A person has the picture in his mind, he grabs crayons and writes on the blank sheet of paper, and comes the picture. That person will call him the intelligent agent. That agent has in his mind information, comes out of the mind, and the mind, the information that comes out of the mind is called the design, which is in this case a painting. We'll see other cases for what can come out from a person when he has information. Information comes from a mind. Humans have a mind. Animals and plants don't have a mind. Animals have a brain, but they don't have a mind. They cannot bring something out of nothing. They cannot bring an idea that did not exist before. They imitate, they repeat. A brain is different than the mind. A brain makes the organs function, but the mind is the one that has the information. We point to our mind because God gave us this mind, and it is our thoughts that bring this information. Animals don't have these thoughts, and plants don't have a brain at all. Let us together try finding things around us. We give an example of a painting. We'll do other examples, things you see around you. I'll give you examples here, and you can yourself do this exercise with other things at home or at school. These things have been built by a person who is using information, ideas, thoughts from his mind. Remember the terms we used before. The person is the intelligent agent. Agent simply means a person, someone who acts. The person thinks. This is called information. The person builds. The person uses his information to bring what he has in mind into something, into a design. And that is what the whole title is, intelligent design. You are the intelligent agent. You have information. You as an intelligent agent use your information to build something. That is called intelligent design. And we'll see it in examples now. I'm now giving you the expressions to get familiar with them. Intelligent agent has information. He uses this information to build something. These three things are called intelligent design. Let's see it around us in order to train you how to look around you and see things that have been done as intelligent design. And any intelligent design must come out of information. Let's see this. A book, for example. A book, when you have a blank sheet of paper or a blank notepad, has nothing in it. It's just blank. But when you open a book, what do you see? You see information, because when you read the book, it could be a story, it could be a book about science, could be a book about geography, whatever book you like to read, or subjects you like to read, or you take them at school from the teachers. Any book contains information. It's written in the form of a paragraph. The paragraph is made of sentences. Sentences are made of words. Words are made of letters. A, B, C, D, E, F. Look at this letter that somebody is writing about their best friend. You can read it. Take your time to read it on your own. You can freeze the presentation and read it, but it's not important to know what's in it. What's important to know, can the letters arrange themselves? Can the ABC arrange themselves on their own in the form of a letter? Can the paragraphs come by themselves? Can the letters become words, and the words become sentences, and the sentences become a paragraph, and the paragraph is giving a story on its own, completely on its own? No, because whenever we look at something like this, we immediately say, who wrote this? Who's the one who wrote this? There must be a mind. There must be a person. There must be an intelligent agent behind this letter or behind this book. So, can the letters arrange themselves on paper to form words, sentences, and paragraphs by themselves? The answer definitely is no. They cannot happen accidentally. They cannot happen on their own. What is the logical answer then? Only a person is able to have information. And here is another information where somebody writes about their grandparents, my grandparents. And they put this information on a piece of paper to form a book or a letter or a short love message, whatever it may be. What's important is that there has to be a person. When we see a book, the first thing we do is to see who wrote it. We immediately, when we hold the book, we know that there's an author for the book. You can go to your books of that at school and you find who wrote it. It could be more than one person. Who means it is a person. Not an animal wrote the book, not a plant wrote the book. Our mind easily concludes that a person wrote the book. Another example, a bike. So we take the example of a painting, the example of a book. Let's see an example of something that we all like to do, riding a bike. When we see a bike has to have a certain way to build it in order to function as a bike. In other words, someone must know the information to build a bike. What is the information to build a bike? So this is a bike like this. The person who designed it must have to think of so many pieces to fit together. So it's like the painting and like the book. When we see it, we immediately think, who designed this nice bike? This bike is built of so many pieces. The wheels and the spokes inside the wheels and the rubber for the tires and the body for the bike and the seat and the steering rod for the bike and the chain and the bigger gear and the smaller gear. So many different pieces, and the pedals in order to move the bike forward. So it takes the following steps. Build two wheels with spokes. These are the spokes. In each wheel from the center part to the rim of the wheel. From the center part to the rim of the wheel. Build the body for the bike to make the person ride on the bike. Here is a body with a seat where the person will sit here. Build the chain to make one wheel able to turn. So build the chain with gears and pedals connected to one of the wheels in order to make this wheel able to turn, in order to propel the bike forward. Build pedals, not just the chain. You need places for the person to put his legs on, his feet on. Build the steering rod so that you can steer the bike left and right. Otherwise, you'll not be able to steer it. You'll fall. All of this information a person uses to design a bike. We see again the three things. A person has information on how to design a bike and he designs the bike. That's intelligent design. Intelligent, again, a person who's able to think. And any thinking is called information. The person plus the information creates a design. I hope it gets clearer more and more as we're doing. Now, this is the third example. Another one, or explaining further the word design. Design means the person can grab a blank paper and start drawing how the bike will look like. You can design another type of bike, like maybe a bike with 3 wheels, maybe a small car with 4 wheels. This happened by persons. They have to go to school and universities but they can sit and design from their own thinking, imagination, a bike, and they build it. When we point to the imagination, we'll call it information. They have it in their mind. And it takes someone with a mind. It cannot be an animal, it cannot be a plant. Here it is. Person has thoughts, has information in his mind, and then he designs the very, very nice bikes that we see around us, or cars, or whatever thing that we see around us that we use. So intelligent design means there must be someone who has information, and he uses this information to design something he has in mind. Someone has information and designed something that was in his mind, and we all now see it. In this case, we showed it as example of the bike. Another very nice example. So we have the painting, we have the book, we have the bike. Now another example we see around us is music. Music is the creation of a mind. Have you seen a musical note before? You all like music, and some of you play instruments, and you know how to read music. It's like a letter. It's like a book, but it's written in a different way than a book. It looks like this. It looks like a book, but instead of the letters that we saw in the previous letter that we've seen, you have horizontal lines. It looks like this, and you have certain notations. These notations, instead of being letters, they're certain way of representing the music. You know it very well, those who play music. So music is like a story, but instead of reading the story, you are playing the story on a musical instrument. So somebody plays the music and somebody has created the music. Sometimes they are the same person. So let's differentiate between them. The player, you give this person who knows how to read the musical notes, and that person will be able to play it for you. Let's say it's a musical notes for a piece on the piano. This girl will be able to take this book and play it, and we hear the music. The one who wrote the music is another person, another mind, who out of nothing, there was a blank paper, he sat down and started writing a music that's in his head. You know, very famous composers like Bach, like Beethoven, like Tchaikovsky. All of these people, they sit down and the music is in their mind. That's the information, and then it comes out on paper, and then they give it now to players, could be big orchestra, to play it. This is the one whom we are interested in, the composer, the one who brought up something out of nothing. This is the one who sat down and on a blank piece of paper from his mind, he brought out the music and put it for us on a piece of paper. The composer has the information of the music. You guys, if you can compose music, that's amazing. So maybe this kid is not familiar yet with the notes, so he does it in the form of colors. He colored his xylophone and put it in the form of colors, but still, he sat down and he started forming music out of his mind, and he can give it to this girl to play it. We see the same thing again, a mind, a person that has the music in that mind. The music is in his mind, and he will sit down and start designing or writing that music on musical notes, and it will show as this and gives it to the player to play it. So mind, information, and the design. The design could be a painting, the design could be a book, the design could be a bike, the design could be a car, the design could be a piece of music. The design could be anything that someone who knows how to do it has the information in the mind and brings it into existence before, and before that it did not exist. This piece of music did not exist before the composer sat down and wrote it. He composed it, he made it up. So intelligent design contains three things: a person, an agent who's able to think. We call that the intelligent agent, which means something or someone with a mind in it, able to think. That thinking is information. The mind has information, as you all do when you sit down and start drawing a painting. And then this information can be used to build something or design something. So design, we said, could be a painting, could be a bike, could be a piece of music, could be a book. And this is all called design. Something we designed, something we built. Maybe an easier word for us is something we built. Three keywords: mind, information, design. Mind, information, design, which we call it intelligent design. Intelligent is the ability of a person to think. Intelligent design. There has to be a mind. That mind has information. That information designs something. Or in other words, an intelligent agent has information and uses this information to design something. Let's think of things we're all interested in, robots. I can design different shapes of the same thing. I can design different shapes of the same thing. Or I can have three problems. I design different robots to solve every problem. Like I sit down, oh, I want a robot to do this, and I want another robot to do that, and another third robot to do this. So I'll give here some simple example for this. Let's see. This is what's happening. Somebody sees a problem that needs to be solved. Then the person starts using his mind. How can I solve this problem? How can I solve this problem? And then he puts his information together to create the solution. Then he designs the solution. So I see a problem to be solved. My mind starts thinking and brings out information. And this information, the person takes it and starts building the robot that will solve the problem that he saw. So that's why we build things in order to create it for a purpose. For example, you want to write a book because you want the people to laugh at the story. You want to write a letter because you want to give it to mom for Mother's Day. You want to write a poem. You want to write a piece of music because you want to give it to somebody to play it. Usually we design things because there is a purpose for them. We need them to do something. An example here, I have a set of things. Here are wheels. Here, this is a photo cell. This is kind of legs or arms. These are legs here that will be used for these are gears. So this set of things that are available to me, can I build different things from it? The same set of things, and I'll build different things from it. Let's see. Why 3 robots? That's an example because the person, the intelligent agent, wants to build different types of robots for different uses. He uses information he has in his mind to solve each problem. He designs a different robot for each problem. It will get clearer now. If you don't understand it, just hold on. When you see the robots, you'll understand it. But here is the only components that we're going to use. And we will use the same components to do 3 different things. Again, we'll use the same components that are here in the picture to do 3 different things from these components. My mind will use these things to build with the information to build 3 different things. So I am the same person. I will use different information, and from this different information will come out 3 different robots. Okay. The first one, I want to build a robot that can hang on a wire. Like I can put the wire here, the rope, and this robot will slide on it. So I have to build it with having ability to arms to grab the wire and to slide on it. So that's design number 1. My mind has the information that it requires something like arms to hold on to the wire. And I took my components that I show here, these ones, and I built this one that climbs on the wire or holds on to the wire. Another one, I want one that rolls or wheels or has wheels to move from one place to another, not to slide along the wire. So I use the same components. Some other ones that did not exist with the first one, I add wheels in this time. So that's robot number 2. Number 3, I will give him legs instead of wheels because I want him to walk instead of rolling on wheels. How is that related to God? It's exactly, in this case, you are representing God because you are a person with information. You build different things. That's exactly what God does. We see around us things that require intelligence to build it. It needs information to build an animal. It needs information to build a human. It needs information, there is need for information to build an insect. So instead of a book and robot and music and all of these things, God used his information to build the world around us with all its different things: trees, water, earth, animals, you name it, humans. There has to be someone that has the information to build all of this. And that's why we called God intelligent designer. He has a mind, he uses his mind with the information in it to build everything we see around us. Now it gets clearer why we're studying intelligent design. So God creates stuff, but now we're understanding it more, the term, and we used it. I wanted to give the examples first in order to understand when we talk about God. He has a mind. God has a mind, definitely. God is intelligent. He builds. And what does he build? He built everything we see around us. They are designed differently, but sometimes they are similar. Yeah, sometimes they are similar. Like when we saw the 3 robots, they had similarities, yet they are different. See why I use the 3 robots example? So let's apply it here to God. God has a mind. God has information in that mind. And God designed and built different species, different things and different species. Species means an animal or a plant or a human. Do we see example? Can we apply the example about building different robots from the same components applied to the creation that God created? Remember, we had the same components of the robot and we built 3 things, 3 robots from it. We see around us in nature several living things that have the same design. Can you look around you and see different things that look the same, yet they are different? For example, humans and monkeys. We did not come from monkeys, but we have similarity in our functionality, the way our elbows work, our elbows work and shoulders. Similarities doesn't mean we came from one another. Similarities means we were designed by one God. He designed his species, his creation, so that some of them look like one another. Horses and dogs, they have 4 legs, the way they walk. Does that mean, but they are different than humans and monkeys? Birds have different shapes. Crocodiles that live in the water and come out on the land. Reptiles sometimes look like crocodiles, lizards. So we see around us things that look similar, but they are not identical. And now we're able to understand it more because we understood that robot example, same components, but we built robot number 1 as a hanging robot, robot number 2 as a robot on wheels, robot number 3 as a robot that can walk. So this is God's existence exactly. One God, he has all the information in his mind, and he uses his information to build different species, different creation. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you understand what it meant now by intelligent design, and enjoy very, very much creating things out of your mind so that you can bring things into existence without existence. And thank God that he gave you the mind to think and to have information and to learn also at school, because it gives you information to create more and new things, because God is the creator, God is the intelligent designer, and when he created us, we are the only people or the only creation that can think. No other creation can think except humans. And glory be to God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, one God. Amen.